Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Scott Luton and Supply Chain Hall of Famer Jake Barr with you here on Supply Chain Now. Welcome to today's live stream. Hey, Jake, how you doing today?
I am celebrating the end of Halloween.
Okay. You had about 7,000 kids come through your neighborhood and Supply Chain.
1,200 pieces of candy, Scott. 1,200.
All right, really quick. That aside, you've got a great nonprofit for folks that want to send their candy for a great mission. Tell us more.
There is a wonderful organization called Soldiers Angels that collects holiday treats that you may not have given out, and that goes for Halloween or even Christmas. And they actually take the candy and actually put together care packages for men and women serving abroad.
Love it. Love that. We'll see if we can't drop the link to that organization. But most important, well, almost as important. That's really important because we appreciate everybody serving our country, both here at home and abroad, especially during the holiday season, right? There's a lot of families that serve right along with them. But on a much lighter note, today's show, folks, it's The Buzz, where every Monday at 12 noon Eastern time, we discuss a variety of news and developments across global supply chain and business. News that matters, we like to call it. And The Buzz, all month long in November, is powered by our friends at OMP, a software and consulting company delivering advanced supply chain planning solutions specifically tailored to individual industries worldwide. You can learn more at omp.com. Jake, we've got a big show teed up here today, and I'm just going to get the tip of the iceberg here. We're going to offer a supply chain leadership pulse check. Hey, what is a top priority for chief supply chain officers everywhere right now? On the next note, all we need is love and a U.S. and China trade deal. More to come on that later. We'll discuss the booming porch pirating industry. Gosh, we're going to dive into some key takeaways from Change North America 2025 and RateLinx Insights 2025. We're even going to attempt to quantify all the varying levels of uncertainty impacting global business, all that and much, much more. Jake, are you ready? It's going to be a big show today.
Let's jump.
We got to jump. Hey, one more thing. Maybe the biggest news on the Buzz here today. We've got a special repeat guest and a longtime friend of the show, Shannon Vaillancourt, CEO of RateLinx, joining us, folks. He's going to share some, as I mentioned, some of those key takeaways from a great event. And better yet, he's going to tell us why freight audit is dead. So get ready for that. Two things before we get going here. Hey, be just like Nabila, who is over on YouTube. Nabila, let us know where you are tuned in from. We'd love to connect the dots, just like Leah Kim tuned in from Seattle via LinkedIn. Great to see you, Leah. Trisha's Johnny on the spot, already dropping that Soldiers Angels organization. Wonderful. Big thanks to Trisha and Amanda. But hey, folks, let us know where you're tuned in from. We want to hear your take on all these topics, no matter what social channel you're on. And if you enjoy the show today, we'd love for you to share it with a friend and or your network. They'll be glad you did. Okay, folks, we got three things to hit before our big guest joins us here today. I know Jake's already eating his Wheaties. He's always ready to go. He never misses a beat. So let's dive into the first one here today. We released our latest edition, Jake, of With That Said over the weekend, as we always do. It was a beautiful weekend, by the way, here in Metro Atlanta, except for the Falcons. More on that later, maybe. But we started this edition with a few key takeaways from Change North America 2025, which was held in Columbus, Ohio in September. Now, Jake, I loved Amy Augustine's perspective in an interview with me and Christine Barnhart. Amy serves as Vice President for Operations and Supply Chain at Champro. And she told us, quote, calm is a supply chain superpower. When chaos hits, breathe, delegate, trust your team, make composure and clarity operational advantages, not just soft skills. And then fast forward to one more point here. Conference chair, guitarist, and supply chain rock star. You see him right there, Bart DeMonk. When he was speaking about the AI explosion here in the golden age of supply chain tech, he makes a great point. AI might play the notes, but humans make you feel the music. Ooh, that's poetic. The future of supply chain, he went on to say, isn't about choosing between man or machine. It's about using AI to amplify what people already do best. Folks, that's just 2 observations. You can check out the rest right there. And with that said, we're dropping the link. Jake, did you happen to see our latest edition of With That Said? And what was your favorite takeaway?
Well, I have, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how you got in the photo with the 2 superstars. So between Christine and Bart, who I know both very well.
Let the riffraff in, Jake.
They just let the riffraff in. So I want to amplify a couple things. So Bart, again, right on point, but fundamentally, if you're looking for a key takeaway on the AI front, I call it keep it simple, stupid. It's the KISS principle. Fundamentally, I want you to follow somebody, and it's a young lady called Alex Wang. Alex, A-L-E-X, Wang, W-A-N-G. Okay. She is perhaps, I love her for the simplicity of how she explains how to use AI and what AI is in simple, digestible notes that you can play and make great music out of, no matter what level in the supply chain you're operating in.
Really? Okay, Alex Wang. And we'll see. Let's look that up. We'll drop the link, make it really easy.
Find her on YouTube. She can take some of the most, you'd think, complicated things and make them simple in a heartbeat.
Okay, I love it. Well, we'll find it, drop that link. But folks, check out With That Said. Trisha's dropping a link already. T Squared, welcome back. The pride of Baltimore. Bring on that good nourishment, T Squared says, especially one of his favorite topics, reverse logistics and supply chain management IT systems. By the way, T Squared, that interview we had with Amy Augustine with Champro, she's done some big things in returns management and reverse logistics. So we'll drop the link to all those interviews. But it's always great to have you here with us. Okay. And Jake, yes, they let me in. They let the riffraff in. So that's okay. Bart and Christine made me look really good, let me tell you. All right, moving right along. Let's have a supply chain leadership pulse check with the Supply Chain Hall of Famer, Jake Barr. So, Jake, it's hard to believe, but it's already the 3rd of November. We got 2 months ago in the calendar year. We got the biggest holidays, but we got a whole bunch of work from a global supply chain standpoint before we can take a moment and enjoy New Year's Eve, maybe, right? Maybe some good college football. I don't know. A lot has to happen between now and then. I want to ask you, you work and rub elbows with some of the most successful leaders out there, organizations out there. When you think of true world-class chief supply chain officers, what's one of their top priorities right now where we are in the year?
God, I could list a half dozen, but the majority of them are trying to double down and invest in capability for their people on the floor, as I call it. It's called, how do you bring calm to the chaos, right? So you bring calm to the chaos by helping the people that are doing and executing the work every single day, a more simple way to sift through all the noise. And so they're actually doubling down. We've got half a dozen easily or more projects underway where folks are just doing some fundamental things to put, I'll call them AI predictive intelligence assists in the hands of their folks on the floor.
Okay. All right. We'll get more from the front lines and the boardrooms in our next supply chain leadership pulse check. Good stuff there, Jake. And I bet you welcome hearing from anybody that wants to compare notes from what you're seeing out across the industry. Is that right, Jake?
That's the only way the profession gets better.
That is right. Okay. We got one more thing before we bring on another mover and shaker across global supply chain. And folks, I love sharing resources, and I got another one to share with you here from our friends at EasyPost. Folks, stop losing money on problem packages. I've been there, done that. We got to ship like it's 2025, not like it's 1985. Not picking on 85. That was a good year. The Bears won, as Shannon might attest here in a minute. EasyPost offers complete shipping protection with EasyPost Guard, which provides an all-in-one suite that automates all kinds of stuff, claims, insurance, shopper guarantees, and all of that lets you focus on growth and delighting, knocking your customers' socks off, even better. So, for example, EasyPost Guard automates USPS claims. They identify and file the claim for you. You don't have any forms or pesky follow-up. They see about a 90% approval rate for claims filed through Guard. And even better yet, you only pay when the claim pays, so there's zero upfront risk. Stop chasing refunds. Start recapturing revenue. Get EasyPost Guard today. We're going to drop a link so you can learn a whole bunch more. Okay, Jake, we knocked out all 3 items. We're right on time, and we've got a terrific repeat guest joining us. I know you're ready. I'm going to introduce, and by the way, Tricia, always appreciate what you do, dropping links and making folks, making it real easy for folks to connect the dots with resources and perspective we share. All right, so great guest here on The Buzz, powered by OMP. My dear friend, Shannon Vaillancourt, has been leading all sorts of innovation across global supply chain for decades. He founded RateLinx back in 2002 with a vision to give businesses complete visibility into their supply chains. Now, since then, RateLinx has evolved into a pioneering force in supply chain technology, offering an integrated data as a service platform that empowers organizations. Hey, count with me. Leverage critical data, optimize logistics strategies, enhance supply chain management, solve complex challenges, reduce costs, taking friction out, and a whole bunch more. So please join me in welcoming my friend Shannon Vaillancourt, CEO with RateLinx. Hey, Shannon, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing today?
Wonderful. Jake, we mentioned 1985. That's a big year in the Vaillancourt household, huh?
I'm pleased that Shannon is not canoeing down the street in our fair area of Phoenix.
Right. I mean, y'all have had a lot of rain. Y'all had a stretch at least where you had tons and tons of rain, Shannon.
I'll tell you what, it was pretty crazy. I mean, growing up in the Midwest, you're used to bad weather and stuff, but I mean, we got 3 or 4 inches of rain in like a day or two.
Wow.
And what I didn't realize, because we've only lived out here now for 7 years, is that it's not necessarily the water. It's because you've got flooding. It's that the desert washes into the roads and makes some of the roads impassable because it's just a big sandbar. So it's like you're driving, and in the Midwest there's water. I mean, heck, the funny story that me and my boys have is it was one of the last years that we lived in Wisconsin, and we were going to the Humane Society to look at adopting 2 dogs, and it had really rained hard, and I'm driving there, and it's just outside of town, and the water was kind of deep, and I got halfway through, and I looked at the boys, and I'm like, "Ooh, I think this is a bad idea, but we're committed." And so we kept, so we made it through, and we get to the Humane Society, we look at the dogs, and we come out. My wife's there; she met us there, and my license plate on the front of the car was bent completely up.
Oh my gosh!
The water pushing it up, and she's like, "Hey, what happened to your license plate?" I'm like, "Oh, I have no idea." And I looked at the boys. I'm like, we don't know.
Oh my gosh!
Like, we didn't admit that till many years later.
He was in the hear no evil, say no evil.
Oh yeah,
he knew what was about to happen. If he
it's like we are committed, boys. So we got to keep going. But But here you can't do that because if you're driving through that, there's stuff in the water. There's rocks. There's sand. So you could damage stuff here. So. That's what I've learned now from living here. You got to be a little cautious.
Well, so I had a whole fun warm-up question on a whole different topic, but you've already given us so much to work with here, Shannon. I have one quick follow-up question before I get Jake to process this too. Did you end up closing the deal and adopting the dogs?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got them. So that was 10 years ago.
Okay.
One sadly passed away at the end of July. We had to put him to sleep. He was my dog. He's actually he stares at me every day. He's on my wall here in the office. And then the other one's at home, Oreo. And he's still a year old, I think.
Oreo. I love that name. Yeah. And hey, it is always tough to lose a good dog. So I hate to hear that. But Jake, is the Barr household a dog household?
Are you kidding? I literally grew up as one of 10 kids, and at any given time we had 8 to 10 dogs.
Oh my gosh, the pictures that come to mind. We can barely handle 2 in the Luton household, but both of them, Shannon and Jake, are rescues.
The dogs ate better than I did, though. I will say
Oh
that.
yeah, my
good
dogs. My dogs ate better, slept better. There's a sign up on top of my desk that says I work hard so my dogs can live a better life. And it's about right.
So true. It is so true. All right, folks. We got so much to get to here today. I want to start, though. We did Trisha, Johnny on the spot, sharing Alex Wang on LinkedIn. That's one of the folks that Jake was recommending. Go check that out. And we need as much effective simplicity as we try to wrap our heads around innovative technology. It changes by the hour. So check out what Alex is sharing. Okay. We got a lot to get to here today. Let's go through a couple of news stories, though. Let's start with what may be good news. There's a lot of skeptics out there, which we'll touch on maybe. But this appears at least to be some good news. Maybe a little less icy frigidness and trade war, because it's been simmering for quite some time between the U.S. and China. As reported by Supply Chain Dive, the U.S. and China reached an agreement last Thursday on tariffs and trade. Early reports say that the deal includes the U.S. lowering tariffs and suspending some trade actions, such as this investigation into China's shipbuilding sector. In return, China has agreed to make commitments on things such as fentanyl, rare earth exports, and agricultural trade. Now, on that last item, we've been tracking this a bit because a lot of folks aren't familiar what soybeans are. They're a major, big deal when it comes to our economy and certainly the agricultural sector. And American farmers have been watching this. China has agreed to purchase 12 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans by the end of the year. That's massive. And 25 million tons annually in 26, 27, 28. For context, in 2023, in what was a bit of a more normal year at least, China imported about 22.5 million metric tons of soybeans from the U.S. So to commit, and we'll see if it happens, Jake, commit to 12 million metric tons in basically 2 months, we'll see. Starting with Shannon Vaillancourt first. Your thoughts on this news and the overall tariff war out there?
I mean, I think it just comes down to we got to land on something. That's what it comes down to. That's what I keep hearing. It's, we can plan for anything except for the uncertainty. And that's what's been the disruptive part of this year with all the tariffs. It's uncertainty. So glad it got done. From what I understand, it's good for a year. So we'll see if it
maybe.
Yeah. Because it's China, I've heard that we'll see. They could all of a sudden change their mind again. And we've seen what's happened as well with our tariffs this year. It keeps changing every minute. It's pretty crazy.
It is. And all right, so the big elephant in the room, which Jake, you saw him nodding his head earlier, will all parties honor the commitments that they reportedly are making? Jake, your thoughts on what we're seeing here?
Too little, too late, Scott. Unfortunately, the world, as Shannon knows very vividly, the world of logistics and supply chain is an interconnected network. A sequencing of activities that have to occur. So to be able to get the amount that we're talking about transferred in that kind of short of time. So let's step back and say, hey, is dampening the noise a good thing? The answer is yes. Okay.
Right.
The question is, will it stick? Right. And what's the long play of will it stay in place for a while? So anything that's good to help the farming community at this point, given their current situation, is a good thing. So I applaud that. But the commitment is a bit of a hollow one for thinking about how do you work that amount of metric tons through the pipe in that short a period of time.
Yeah, I'm with you. Those are great questions and concerns to bring up. And there's a bit of a track record in parties not honoring the commitments they make. So we'll see how it plays out from here. Hey, Leah and Nabila and T Squared, would love to hear your thoughts. Anyone else out there on this trade truce that may come to fruition between China and the U.S.? All right. So Shannon, you hit on perhaps one of the biggest themes of the year. and that is uncertainty.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, and all of its different flavors and levels and angles. Hopefully, optimistically speaking, not too naively, maybe, hope to get a sliver or two back of certainty in industry with this trade deal. We'll see. But the World Economic Forum was asking a really interesting question lately. Just how do we quantify and measure all the uncertainty in global business? And we've got perfectly measurable inflation rates or GDP growth or many other things that we can get down to, data science really. But uncertainty is a different beast, and it's terribly intangible. Now, some surveys are used, such as the Chief Economist Outlook. I can never say that word, economist. The Chief Economist Outlook, its May 2025 edition showed that 82% of chief economists around the world said that the current level of uncertainty is very high. Okay, another breaking news, 2 + 2 = 4. Of course it is. The U.S. Federal Reserve publishes the Beige Book, which is a regular publication that reports views from the Fed's 12 districts. Now, in September, the Beige Book referenced, quote, historically high uncertainty. And then you've got a global economic policy uncertainty index. Try to say that 5 times fast, which shows that uncertainty has skyrocketed across global business over the last 25 years, particularly this year. So, Shannon, you nailed it earlier, as you always do. Your thought on maybe beyond even quantifying uncertainty. What are you seeing out in the market that tells you there's lots of uncertainty right now?
I think it's funny that I'm certain that there's uncertainty. It's like, I love that we're measuring something that's uncertain.
Right.
As an engineer, I always get stuck on that stuff. I mean, what I'm seeing is a lot of just no decision. That's how I see uncertainty unfold, is that nobody's making a change. They're going to stick with whatever they got, whatever it is, and they do the best that they can. I mean, we did see earlier in the year that people were taking advantage of, where the tariffs were at the time, where they were either pulling a lot of stuff forward and then it would just sit, and then they would kind of ride out the storm of the uncertainty. But that's what I've seen a lot of. It's just a whole lot of nothing. People just doing nothing and waiting it out, hoping that it's going to finally just settle in. Because again, what I've seen throughout the year, talking with a lot of people and being at some of the conferences, they say that it doesn't matter what the number is. We just need a number, and it just needs to stop. Because once we get the number, the companies can manage around it. It's hard to manage when you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. We have a customer that does a lot of importing, and what's funny is that it's so silly. They're like, we used to import our stuff, and the product itself had price tags on it, and for the first time we're importing it with no price tags. And I'm like, wow, that's something that you would never think about, that you'd have to take into account. They're like, no, you can't bring it in with a price tag yet, because we have no idea what we're going to sell it for yet. And it's, for the holiday season. So it's kind of funny.
I think that's a pretty tangible illustration of uncertainty in my book, Shannon.
Yeah.
Jake, your thoughts on what you heard there from Shannon and what you're seeing out there, especially, it's always tough to make decisions, it seems like. But man,
Scott, in that time of uncertainty, the consumer always votes and gives their opinion, right? And they vote either thumbs up or they vote thumbs down.
Right.
And so the uncertainty has had a chilling effect on demand in a number of categories across verticals. And so you literally see choices being made, trade-off choices, trading down choices, not buying choices, delaying purchases, right? And so to Shannon's point, look, a few people tried to hedge, as I call it, earlier in the year, where they were trying to buffer using some pull ahead strategies, right? Where they were trying to get out in front. Well, gosh, if the tariff's going to go into place, I'm going to run and I'm going to rush. I'm going to pull a bunch of stuff in and then just pay the price for holding it. Well, unfortunately, that didn't work, because then the tariff numbers changed again, right? And then I'm left sitting with a pile of stuff that I really can't price adequately. So it's had a tremendous, and now Shannon's example is very true. We're seeing a number of folks that used to have a very well integrated set of activities on the supply chain where they were higher productivity, where they were actually pre-pricing before it even came in, right? To simplify work and to save steps. And they're having to back away from that because they don't know. And that's the worst thing you can have from a supply chain. Supply chain is always built to deal with a level of uncertainty. We buffer in people, we buffer in safety stocks. But when you're we're playing like Russian roulette right now. It's not even uncertainty, right? It's called on any given day. What do I wake up thinking we might need to respond to? And that's a whole nother level.
Yep. Now, I loved Shannon, you talked about, I don't care what the number is. I just need a number. That I feel that in my bones sometimes, Shannon. That is such a great call out. But hey, it'll continue. We'll see where, these deals that we've seen and heard about, we'll see if they, number one, make it to paper. And then number two, the bigger billion-dollar challenges, will they make it to in practice? We shall see. Okay, really quick. Angel, tuned in via YouTube, watching from beautiful Sierra Leone. Great to see you, Angel. Your thoughts on these historic levels of uncertainty. All right, let's move to another topic. Get this. No, we're not talking about Blackbird or Blackbeard. Blackbird might be another pirate or Calico Jack. But porch pirates everywhere are having record-breaking success in recent years getting your booty. According to our friends at Retail Brew and OmniSend, Americans alone lost $15.7 billion in stolen packages last year, 2024. That's about 241 million parcels. And it's not just the big stuff that they're after. Far from it. And 85% of thefts target goods less than $100. About 1 in 3 households in the U.S. were hit last year. And get this, retailers only covered $6.5 billion in refunds, far less than even half of the total loss. Now, what are those ever fast learning consumers, a bunch of them, some of them at least, what are they doing about it? Well, surveys show that 44% say that they're going to be shopping online less. Yeah, I don't believe that. Maybe until the next Prime Day, I bet. 27% say they're using lockers or pickup approaches. And 29% are going to spend more with retailers that offer easier refund policies. So, Shannon, 2-part question. Have you ever had a package stolen? And number 2, your thoughts on what we're seeing in this porch piracy.
I haven't had a package stolen off our porch.
Okay.
We've had packages not magically show up, where you could see it into a terminal and then it disappears. But no, I haven't had one stolen yet. And we live in a gated community, so probably not fair comparison for us either.
Right.
But it's fascinating now to think about this when I think about, the package got delivered. So from that perspective, it was delivered, but it wasn't actually received, by the user. And I'm seeing a lot more technology out there around this now. I know that UPS has an API that you can use that will give you a number back that says what the likelihood is of it getting delivered safely and not getting stolen. And then you can, of course, leverage that to then insure it against the stolen part. And it was funny, a couple years ago, or maybe a little bit longer, I remember my wife ordering something online, and for an extra $7, you could insure it against getting stolen. And I'm like, what? It's like, and I just get a kick out of it because I go back to, I think about when I first started in the industry, you couldn't track anything. And it was like, and the funny story is that my partner, Frank, when he worked in college, he worked at a place and they were like, hey, they were blaming him. He was running the shipping station. They blamed him for not putting stuff on the truck because people weren't getting their packages. This is back in the mid-90s, early 90s. And what was happening was people were going into the truck afterwards and putting different address labels on it because there's no tracking. So they were just at lunchtime or whatever, putting different address labels on the boxes. So it's all going to somebody's house. And they were blaming him, the college kid.
If we could just take all of this innovative bad actor thinking and re-divert it to doing good things in this journey we're on, man, talk about things we do. Jake, what'd you hear there from Shannon? First, okay, so Shannon has not experienced a loss from the front porch. Jake, how about you?
I have over the years, but Scott, the thing that's happening probably faster than we can blink our eyes is the cost of the technology to support alternate methods for ensuring secure delivery continue to come down. And so I actually will say you're going to end up seeing the major players where most of the packages originate. And so I hate to say it, but if you take the parcel service and you break it apart, and whether it's UPS, FedEx, or Amazon, in terms of prime delivery source, you're seeing, the Amazon secure delivery system pick up in terms of the number of users where it's delivered into your door and secured, or into your garage and secured, so that there's no porch pirate opportunity.
That's good. That's good. Cut them out all entirely. I love that. Good stuff, Jake and Shannon. Amanda says she's seen TikTok videos of people that have a lot of packages stolen, that put fake packages out, that explode with colorful powder that coats the thieves. Now that is must-see TV. And along those lines,
two fellow engineers that are on the thing, there are some beautiful YouTube videos. There's a guy that does this full time.
Really?
And he's an engineering wonder that have motorized glitter bombs that he puts out.
Really?
To where, yes. And he puts GPS trackers and then shares that info with the local police departments.
Okay.
So you can actually acquire these from him.
It's like an arms war between the pirates and then the countermeasures, you name it. T Square says that glitter bomb alarm is the best humbler. I bet. And there's not much of an excuse, I don't think, you can offer up. Okay, we got a lot of more good stuff to get into with some of the cool things Shannon and the RateLinx team are up to. But folks, I got one more great resource that I want to share with all of y'all out there. And it kind of goes back to what Jake was saying with Alex, and folks are able to really simplify what we can do with AI. Well, check out this cool new resource from the team over at OMP, who are powering the buzz all month long in November. Ebook is entitled Making AI Work for You, From Explainable to Agentic. This ebook explores how decision-centric planning powered by Unison IQ enables organizations to move beyond explainable AI toward truly agentic systems. It's a practical guide for leaders ready to unlock the full potential of AI in planning, strategy, and execution. And it's got a lot of insights baked in from the world-class team over at 0100. So check it out. We're dropping a link right there. Trish is already on the mission. So check it out. Let us know what you think. Okay. Shannon, now I want to start. I was able to attend RateLinx Insights 2024. Had a great time. We co-presented with you. Shannon, man, he brought actual insights by the truckload. And Jake, kind of to your other point, I was there mainly for the slides and for a couple of dad jokes. But Shannon really delivered. I couldn't make it this year. So I'd love for starters, Shannon, as we learn more about what RateLinx is up to. I think you had a bunch of folks. I think you set a record this year for attendees. I know it's very selective, customers primarily. But what would you say is one of your top takeaways or two from Insight 2025?
I'd say probably the top takeaway that I had was the amount of collaboration that occurs not only between RateLinx and our customers, but just between the customers themselves. It's funny, you've got companies in different industries, different business models, and they all have the same basic wants and needs when it comes to the logistics side. So it was kind of cool seeing them, be able to talk to each other and bounce ideas off of each other to really see how they're not only leveraging, our system to help them, but also leveraging other parts of the system and really connecting the data together to get the most amount of insight and information to drive their business forward. So to me, that's what I really took away from this year was there were companies talking to each other where I was like, well, I didn't think that you two would have anything to really help each other with. But now that you say it, it's
Right.
like, it makes total sense that you guys can help each other out. So it's kind of cool. Whether it's big or small company, it goes both ways. It was kind of neat.
Two quick thoughts, Jake, and invite you to the common denominators. I think we're surprised every once in a while just how powerful those common denominators, those common threads are, even with companies that are in completely different sectors. I mean, Mars and Venus, right? How you pull them in a room and really empower some of those actual innovative conversations. And secondly, I think kudos to you, Shannon, the RateLinx team. Investing in your ecosystem like that is a very valuable way of using very finite resources. Jake, I bet, especially in your Hall of Fame career, you've seen some really powerful pulling together of ecosystem partners that has driven all kinds of innovation. Your thoughts we heard there from Shannon.
Scott, it's a back up the truck moment. The
Okay.
only way the profession gets better is by benchmarking outside of your domain. You literally bring to light inflection points and trigger questions in your head when you actually benchmark with businesses that aren't like you. It causes you to get out of your comfort zone. It causes you to think about what's the implication of how we would do that from a work process or a technology or organization structure standpoint. So I applaud Shannon for what he did, because fundamentally rising tide lifts all boats, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That is right. And folks, Insight 2025 was just last month in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. And if you're interested in 2026, reach out to Shannon and the team. We're going to be dropping some contact information soon. It's a great event. Okay. So Shannon, you and I met in Arizona way back.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it was 2019.
It was BC.
It was. That's right.
Before COVID.
That's right. And one thing you shared then that I bet has only gotten bigger and bigger. It kind of stopped me in my tracks. And I got a little graphic here. You shared that freight audit is dead. Look, it's even got a tombstone right there. Freight audit is dead. I know I didn't snap that picture at someone's funeral. That's straight up from iStock. So, Shannon, if you could, some folks have like a cliche and a mantra, but there's all kinds of action and good stuff behind what's like this personal mission for you. Tell us more what you mean when you say freight audit is dead.
Well, what I saw back then and even earlier, and where we took it a little differently, is on the freight audit side. What I noticed is that a lot of the freight auditing was around trying to find the mistake that the carrier made, not let the carrier know that they made a billing mistake, and just continue to, I guess, celebrate the mistake by adjusting an invoice, which just caused a lot of friction. And I think a lot of tension also. And it's like what we try to do. So it's like, to me, that's freight audit. Freight audit comes in and that's what they do. They just audit. They point out all the mistakes. They don't really give you a solution. They just tell you you're wrong, and off they go. And that's where we take a different approach. We're doing the freight audit to capture the information and to make it more frictionless. Carrier doesn't want to bill wrong. The customer wants to pay the right amount. Carrier wants to get paid the right amount. And what we find is that oftentimes the mistake is made. There's manual that occurs. There's a manual process that occurs at the carrier side when it comes to invoicing. You make a mistake. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, as humans, we're not perfect. We get hungry and tired sometimes, and that impacts your performance. So that's where we want to fix that. That way, the customers and their carriers are having a better flow. because it's really not that difficult to get this done right. And then that way the customers are leveraging the data to manage their business, because they could be giving the wrong freight to the wrong carrier, and that's what's causing a problem.
Yep.
Or the pricing agreement that they've put in place is just not objective. That's the other one I find. I've found some doozies in my life, looking at stuff where it's like, well, how's that going to work? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, it's not going to work. Here's the change we got to make so it's clear. You left just a little gap in there for interpretation. So that's why, to me, freight audit, the old 80s and 90s, you get your little spectacles and get your little visor. Those days are gone. This is about information now, especially with AI. Forget it. Yep. You have to capture more information. Its context is what's missing around that shipment. Otherwise, you can go to the bank with completely wrong numbers or completely wrong initiatives that you think this is going to now hit your initiative number, and it won't.
Right. I want to share 3 quick things, and then Jake, let get your thought on freight audit being dead and getting deader and deader by the minute, because the technology is there, as Shannon and his team proves. Number one, I love your opening comment there, because folks want to pay what they owe, or they want to get paid on what they're due. It's not maybe 100%, but certainly to 80%. And number two, when you're able to automate and get rid of all this manual review, you've talked about it. Your customers have talked about it. The conversations change, and you free up time to talk about new service levels, how to delight customers even more, new levels of innovation, you name it. And then lastly, one of my favorite, we've done a lot of real powerful market-driven case studies, Shannon, you and I together. And my favorite one, I think, we had some good ones, and it's just tough. One of my favorites, I call it, Natalie from Ecolab. She talked about all the people that they were hiring and throwing at hundreds of thousands of manual freight invoices. No one liked to do it. And by leveraging a better technology, it really unlocked all kinds of benefits to the organization. All right, so Jake, I'm going to bring you in here. Freight audit is indeed dead. Your thoughts?
It's not dead yet, but it's definitely taking some death gasps, okay? In the world of predictive analytics, right, and AI capabilities, you have to ask yourself, why am I wasting these precious bodies?
Yep.
I mean, really, you got an opportunity to let the data actually, and the AI actually find the match, the mismatch, actually do the corrective action, actually ensure that it's billed correctly, even before the freight is out the door. Okay. Why do I need to wait for somebody to go reconcile? Right. That's 100% waste.
Yep. Muda, it's so true. And to your opening point, yeah, unfortunately it isn't dead. There's some old-fashioned organizations, I'll call it, not throwing stones, folks, but that's probably the primary reason why it's not truly dead. And there's a massive opportunity, to Jake's point, saving that precious, that beautiful human time and repurposing them to much more rewarding work. Okay, let's do this. Shannon, you're referencing earlier some of the work that you and the RateLinx team do. Folks that are regular audience members here have seen you, I'm sure, plenty of times. But for any of our new audience members, tell us, 2-part question. What does RateLinx do kind of in a nutshell? And number 2, what is one thing, other than playing great golf with your sons, what is one thing that is really exciting you about what's planned ahead for RateLinx in 2026?
Well, you got me stuck on the golf thing. Don't get my head over on that side. I can't think about work. But yeah, what we do here at RateLinx, we help a lot of customers manage their freight spend, whether it's through easy ways to execute on the freight, easy ways to measure and monitor your performance on the freight, and find ways to really, I think, optimize it as best as possible within your service and your cost initiatives that you have. And that's where we're able to deliver a really tailored solution on that side that fit your business the way that it needs to be fit.
Yep.
So again, collaboration, like I said at our Insight conference, it's really amazing, what we're able to help with, because, we have a very great conversation with our own customers as well to learn from them also. I think that's, just like you kept saying, Jake, that's what makes everything better. You've got to, keep your mind open and ask a lot of questions. And I'm definitely a question person. That's for sure. I'm always curious. And that's really what's got me excited about 2026 is it's just more good stuff coming on that side. More integrations to make the answers easier to get, faster to get, more obvious what they are. Just so people can move faster. That's really what I think the AI is for. It's to do the non-value added work.
Yep.
I think that's what everyone's in love with, this AI thing of thinking it's value. It's more the value added where it's making really complex, and it's really not. It's just doing math perfectly is really all I think the AI is doing. Most of the math we do, by the way, is third grade math, which I always get a kick out of.
It's the only math I can do, Shannon.
That's my point.
Shannon, don't ask him to go to fourth decimal point engineering answers. Okay, that's all.
I was going to say, does he understand level of precision?
Oh my gosh! Oh, you're giving me heartburn from my metal stamping days.
He only dealt with military aircraft. I mean,
right?
Precision, really?
He thinks the Dewey Decimal System is math. No,
Shannon, you're letting all my secrets out. Secrets out. Well, you're also, kidding aside, you are singing Jake's song, because Jake touts supply chain math, the power of math, all the time. Jake, what'd you hear there from Shannon, and what's exciting to him about RateLinx's up and coming journey?
I mean, Shannon laid out, they're continuing to double down on investing on helping people get more predictive with what the data is really telling them, right? At the end of the day, that's what's going to unlock the savings, both in productivity and operating costs. So if you can use the numbers to help you tell a different story of what your options are, you're ahead. Yep.
Well said. And two quick thoughts there also. Shannon, you are a question guy, I think, as you put it. And I think that's part of the culture that RateLinx. You're really dialing it in on what the problems are, so you can really prescribe the perfect solution. And man, when you do that, what's like the old saying, a problem well defined is half solved, or something like that. But that's important.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you mentioned Dewey Decimal. Some of our smartest audience in all of global supply chain, that might be a new thing for them, but back in the day, that's how you found the library books you wanted. It was all sorted by this Dewey Decimal System that they used for decades before you could Google and find a section and whatever. Shannon, I think I got that right?
Yeah. Then you go electronic, you do the microfiche.
Right.
That was technology.
Shannon, we'll just send Scott a slide rule for.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be like, "What do you do this with this?" But anyway, all right, let's do this. So we reference case studies, folks. I want to put something on your calendar. Shannon is joining me on November 20th at 12 noon Eastern time. So we're going to be talking with Tanner Dostrup, if I've got that right, with Trove Brands, on how it's time to put logistics challenges in a headlock, how to block, tackle, and win a whole heck of a lot more. So join us on November 20th at 12 noon Eastern time. Okay, Shannon, the $1 billion question. I know you and the team get out to very selective events. You host great events. You're solving a lot of problems out there. How can folks track you down? How can they connect with you and RateLinx, Shannon?
Probably the best way is on LinkedIn. Is probably the best way to get a hold of me and reach out to me through there.
It is just that easy. And I bet we're dropping the link to your LinkedIn, so folks are one click away. I see Trisha's already sharing There's Shannon on LinkedIn right there. And we're also sharing the RateLinx live stream, that case study I just talked about. Come join us. Bring your questions. Shannon will appreciate those for sure. And Shannon, really have enjoyed your appearance here. So, folks, you go to ratelinx.com too. You can check out all the things that Shannon and the team are in. Connect with him or follow him on LinkedIn. And be sure to ask about Insights 2026 and golf. If you want Shannon Vaillancourt's attention, asking golf.
Actually,
Shannon,
I've got a question for Shannon, because Shannon, on the 6th, we unleashed the new freight index, right? So
Yes.
I'm going to go, hey, Shannon, is it going to be trick or treat, right, on the 6th?
Okay.
Well, which way is which? I guess, depending on, I guess, if you're a carrier or if you're the
Yeah, that's right. It's in the eyes of the beholder, right, Shannon? The data,
yeah.
right?
From what I understand, everything I've been reading and hearing and seeing is that they're expecting stuff to be still soft. The freight market should be still soft.
Yeah.
Because the capacity is not really coming out. It's like, as the price has been dropping, usually capacity comes out, but it hasn't been coming out like it has historically come out.
Perhaps uncertainty is factored in.
Is that I'm certain of the uncertainty.
I'm certain that people are currently not pushing the yes or no button on capacity, even though the softness is continuing to build.
Right.
That's right.
And of course, the question that I keep hearing now is the driver shortage finally not a real thing? I've been hearing that my entire career.
Yep.
As long as I've been in this industry, since the early 90s, I've heard that we're going to run out of drivers. And it's like, but now is that not the case? And it's like, again, capacity comes and goes in the market. That's historically how it's been. And now it like starts to come out and then it comes right back in.
Yep.
Is what they've been seeing. So it's been kind of floating the price. It's weird what we've been seeing lately.
It is
the uncertainty. It has to be.
No doubt. So by the way, join us on Thursday at 12 noon Eastern time as we dive into the U.S. Bank Freight Payment Index for third quarter 2025, 12 noon. All right. Shannon Vaillancourt with RateLinx. Love to have you here. I look forward to reconnecting in person soon. And I know you got a busy week lined up. Hit them straight next weekend, and we look forward to having you back on the Buzz. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you, Jake.
Talk soon. Folks, Shannon Vaillancourt. Make sure you connect with him, follow him, check out RateLinx. We're dropping all the links right there in the chat, and you'll be glad you did. All right, I got to ask you the $1 billion question, Jake. We covered a lot of ground with Shannon between the news and between the RateLinx crew. What's one of your biggest takeaways from Shannon's appearance here on the Buzz, powered by O&P?
Well, I have to actually say it's not just Shannon's appearance, but it's also from this week of With That Said, because, we kind of skipped over the statement from Oracle this past week around the pace of innovation. And that's not to be taken lightly. In a period of uncertainty, when you're trying to stabilize, you actually need calm to get that stability back into place. And as the squirrel cages are running faster and faster with trying to drop in new doses of innovation, that makes it even more difficult. So to me, Scott, the takeaway this week is you need to be a student of the game and start lifting the skill set of your operation, because this chaos is not dampening.
Yep. Well said, Jake. Well said. Folks, check out With That Said. We got a lot of more takeaways from our interviews and the rest of the event. Make sure you connect with Shannon and the team. You'll enjoy their perspective. They drop, including that November 20th, a case study. You're gonna see a perfect practice of what it means to leverage innovative technology in your global supply chain operations. Speaking of, Jake, I can't get out of the Buzz here today without talking about, again, the gift that keeps on giving. Corinne Versa orchestrated a brilliant panel back in September. We had 5 incredible supply chain dynamos. I think 3 of them were chief supply chain officers from some of the most popular brands in the globe around the globe. And we've got a blog summary of some of Corinne's biggest takeaways from a jam-packed hour. So I got to ask you, Jake, and folks, y'all can find that at the resource hub. We'll drop the link on the chat. Do any of those takeaways stand out, or are you still kind of in awe of the hour-long conversation that Corinne hosted?
Yeah, I know all those power-packed leaders, and the reality is, if you missed that event, you need to go back and watch it on demand. And hey, newsflash, breaking news here on Supply Chain Now.
Okay.
We're going to give you a double dose.
Ooh.
2 more leadership episodes, just as good as the first one. Stay tuned. Those will happen in January.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Sign me up, register me, you name it. Trisha is dropping the link to Corinne's blog post on their new resource hub at supplychainnow.com. So check that out. Alan, great to see you. Alan from beautiful Canada. I was pulling for your Blue Jays, Alan. Alan says the calm before the storm. He got a kick out of that. Alan, I'll tell you what, it's been storming and storming. I'm looking for some Norman, huh? I think we all are. But Jake says, one of your mantras, Jake, the new never normal. Normal's never coming back, right? Did I get that right?
That is right.
One more thing, folks, make sure it's on your radar because I want you to join me and Jake and Corinne and so many others at the Gartner Supply Chain Planning Summit 2025 in Denver. The current one's going on right now in London. Look forward to key takeaways. But up next, you'll find us in Denver on this tightly focused, the best planning event of the year. And Jake, I don't know if I told you this, talk about breaking news right here on the Buzz, powered by OMP. But Noha Samara, who you see right there, she's the event chair, I think, for all the planning summits. Jake, she's joining us again near the end of the month, along with, of course, Mike Griswold with Gartner. So we're going to be able to pick her brain again. And I cannot wait.
Absolutely. The world of decision shapers.
That is right. All right, folks. That just about does it for a jam-packed edition of The Buzz, powered by our friends over at OMP. Make sure you check out all the resources. Trisha's dropping a link to the Gartner Supply Chain Planning Summit there in Denver. Check that out. Make sure you connect with Shannon Vaillancourt. Big thanks to him and the RateLinx team. Big thanks to my esteemed co-host, Hall of Famer, Jake Barr. Jake, thanks for being here today.
Hey, I am looking forward to it, just as always. But the question we need to leave the audience with today is, will your beloved Clemson Tigers fire that coach or keep him?
We're going to keep Dabo. It's been a tough year at 3-5 with a heartbreaking loss to Duke. Yes, the Duke Blue Devils over the weekend. But I still love old Dabo. We'll see if he can get the ship turned around. So thank you for that painful stab on a Monday. Folks, big thanks, Amanda and Trisha behind the scenes, making production happen. Big thanks to all of y'all that tuned in. I know we didn't hit everybody on the comments and questions, but check out the resources. And most importantly, whatever you do, Jake and Shannon dropped a ton of knowledge. You got to take one thing here today, share it with the team, put it into practice. Deeds, not words. That's how we're going to Jake's point, keep transforming global supply chain and leave no one behind. So with that said, on behalf of the whole Supply Chain Now team, Scott Luton challenging you to do good, give forward, be the change that's needed. We'll see you next time right back here on Supply Chain Now. Thanks, everybody.